Hello, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. This is your amazing September 2022, in which the Lord of your sign, Mars, is loving you up both at the beginning of the month and at the end of the month in very powerful ways. I want to talk about that, plus a few other items. There are a lot of things happening in September, so I'm going to cover only a few. If you want to know all the details as the month progresses, just subscribe and like my channel. I'm Lori Lothian, because you'll get all the details. I do all the major aspects during the month. I am Lori Lothian, your Lunatic astrologer. I'm a whole sign tropical Western zodiac astrologer using ancient Hellenistic tools and techniques such as Time Lords. And if you're curious about how to cast your chart in whole sign houses, please check the description box below, where I have a free tutorial and how to do that using free online software. And then you'll know not only what your rising sign is, which is most important, but also you'll know a bit more about where things are in your sky, whole sign house wise. Also keep in mind that if you want to learn astrology, I am teaching it. I have been teaching and I'm continuing to teach astrology. So my Sky Reader is a wonderful class for beginner astrologers who are just learning from the ground up. It's 8 weeks long, starts in October. It's like be your own astrologer, time your best life. I'll teach some timing tools as well. Sign up by checking the description link below, and you just have to get on the wait list, because there'll be early bird discounts and there'll be an early bird notice, and it will fill. Okay, before if you're not on the wait list, you probably won't get in. So if you're at all interested, get on my wait list. There is a cap on the number of students. All right, so let's get talking about Mars. Mars, the champion warrior hero that runs the Aries fire. Well, he's really loving you up at the very end of the month of August, but also in the first 2 days of September in a sextile to Jupiter. Jupiter is Santa Claus and fairy godfather. He's in your house of you. A lot of us Aries are getting benefits of this. We're feeling more expansive, magnanimous. We're feeling more lucky. We are more lucky. And we're getting a lot of goodness from this Jupiter transit that started in May of 21 and ends in May of 22 and ends in May of 23. But right now he's retrograde, which is fine. It just means that some of the luck is inside job out, where it's interior stuff. And in his retrogradation, he will end up with Mars moving through the sign of Gemini, looking back over his shoulder and sending beams of love to Jupiter. And this is a flow between two planets who are now in alliance with each other, working together. So where Mars is traveling is your third house of trips and journeys, short trips and journeys, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, third house of skills-based learning and online platforms and communication and writing. And so Mars, looking at Jupiter, is giving you opportunities. Jupiter says, let's open up some lucky opportunities. Let you as an Aries be the agent of your own luck and take some command here to create some momentum and goodness in the third house. So look to the first couple of days of September, where you may plan a trip. You may connect with the sibling. It's a house of siblings in a very powerful way. And you may even decide that you're going to sign up or learn from somebody. Jupiter can represent teacher energy. You want to learn. There's also the possibility here that you might want to start writing something. This is a house of writing, and Jupiter would grace and bless you to begin a writing project. Let's face it, Mars is in your third house, for goodness sakes, all the way through until next March, a very rare transit. For some of you, Aries, you're writing up a storm and traveling like crazy. You are killing it in your communications skills and stuff like that. Now, let's keep going. I was talking about how Mars is benefiting you in the beginning and the end. And because I'm catering these to each sign, I'm going to jump to that part of the end of the month, okay? Just so you're ready to catch the ball of this. Mars will trine Saturn. And Mars is a slow planet. He can only do this kind of trine of Saturn once every 2 years. And that's going to take up the last half of the month, guys. I mean, it's really active from September 26th to the 30th, but you'll start to feel it kicking in as early as September 23rd. And so Mars trining Saturn is very much about getting a lot of determination and perseverance and grit to get stuff done, to move forward with in a way that's enduring. It's like the archetype of the marathon runner. There's something in your sky that suggests, like September 23rd to the end of the month, you're grinding away, but you're in a good spirit about it, and things are flowing around 3rd and 11th house stories. Now, the 11th house, the house of good spirit, the house of friends and allies, the house of social groups, the house of great gains from one's career, and Mars in your 3rd house of communications and writing and online marketing and selling and online websites, and siblings and trips and travel. Now, it could be a sustained trip at the end of September that's really productive, but it could also mean that you're working really hard in some third house matter. Like I think about myself, because I'm an Aries sun and moon, and probably what I'll be doing in the last, third of the month is really drilling down into a course I'm taking on how to harness YouTube ads in my business model and really developing my YouTube ads themselves. That's probably what that will be for me. I'm just guessing. So think about that. You may have older friends and allies like, or your eldest sibling, the 11th house, really leaning in to support you, to help you with some thing you're determined to accomplish in that third house. And if you're learning something new, you're digging in and you're really going for it during the last third of the month of September. Sorry that I'm scratching myself, but it's humid here and I'm itchy because I have like eczema style skin and all of that. All right, so those are the two highlights for you because you're Aries, but I'll point out some other yay moments in the sky. All right. So that I will cover what I think you might want to know about the most. Let me say a couple of things. We do have September 5th to the 11th with no major aspects, like seriously low key, right? Nothing really happening. So I like that a lot. That's like, oh yeah, take a vacay from intensity in the sky. Moon is doing stuff, but the other planets are really quiet. So that's true for all signs. Also, at the very beginning of the month, well, you got that Mars sextile Jupiter. Off to the side is Mercury in the sign of Libra, opposite Jupiter in the house of you. So this could be some difficult conversation going on as well. That could be happening in the end of August, beginning of September, regarding a significant business partner or love relationship, one that you're committed to, and having some kind of conversation that may feel slightly difficult, right? But quite essential and necessary. And with Mercury in Libra, there's a desire for this to resolve itself as balance, harmony, and peace. There's a desire for this to look like the outcome serves the highest good of all. But yeah, it could be news coming from your partner. It may have nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? It may be they have some information to give you, and it may be feeling as it hits your Jupiter like it's raining on your yay parade, just as a possibility. Okay. Mercury is still moving direct at that point. So I think it's just going to resolve itself pretty quickly, but we shall see. Venus will move into the sign of Virgo September 5th and 29th. It's a sign of her fall. I will be doing an all signs video on this because it is a big deal. So you might want to stay tuned for the all signs video for sure. But what I want to say about this is that it's not the worst condition for her to be in the sign of her fall. It's not as bad as an exile, in my humble opinion. All fallen planets can rise to exaltation, but she is there and in your Virgo zone. And Virgo for you is a part of your chart that has to do with your health and has to do with your work. Now, work protocols, work routines, work habits, the workplace, colleagues and coworkers, and also how you improve your health by getting rid of sickness. So when Venus is in this part of the sky, you're going to be cleaning up your health. I'm going to be doing a detox from wine. So September 5th to the 11th, watch me go. But I might even buy an ergonomic chair for my desk here. I will be looking at ways to improve health and work. And those are the areas for all areas to focus on during the 5th to the September 5th to the September 29th window of time. Then the full moon will be occurring on September the 10th. Now, this full moon is happening in the sky in a part of your chart that is all about, which is called Pisces zone, which is all about your inner life, your dreams at night, your self-sabotaging addictions and habits, your past lives, even your 12th house. A full moon in the 12th house is illuminating something that you may have been trying to get a handle on as far back as March of 2022 when there was a new moon there. For instance, back in March of 22, I was in a sober sisters group to wean myself off of my love of wine. Yeah, I have to figure that out. I'm not like an alcoholic, but I do love my wine. And so I'll be going back and addressing that. Really, that's probably what that is. So think about an area that you started to focus on last March about how to reverse or deal with or heal an area of your life that you feel is a bad habit or a self-undoing, sabotaging, self-defeating thing that you're up to. It could be an addiction even, and that this is a full moon to bring a fullness, a completion, and a resolution to some part of those stories in your life. This is a full moon that is conjunct Neptune as well. And Neptune is very capable of bringing deep magic to whatever it is you're resolving here, as well as visions and dreams at night that help you resolve or deal this up in some way. Very mystical and magical and dreamy for you. And so you may really want to meditate, dream journal, vision board, and all of that during the time of the moon, which is September 10th, and it's in effect for 2 weeks after. On that moon, there's a square from Mars on a very powerful star called Aldebaran from your natal third house. This could also look like travel plans that are delayed or squashed, or some kind of fullness around something to do with a sibling, some kind of developments with regards to your online world that may be like at odds with what it really feels like you want to take a time out, like the 12th house is solitude and ashrams and just chilling. So you may be at odds with what Mars is ambitiously driving to achieve in your online world, for instance, and a desire to take a hiatus and go to an online spa or sanctuary. I mean, book a trip away or something like that. And so just for that event or that vibe, full mooning out onto September 10th plus 2 weeks. Alrighty, I think that it's important to note that Mercury will be retrograding starting on September 10th until October 2nd. And he starts his retrogradation on September 10th at 8 degrees of Libra in the house of significant others for you. This can be a business partner, a marriage or committed love relationship partnership. It can be legal matters, or it can be audience marketplace clients. And there's a backward momentum. And Mercury stations retrograde in order to go back over some old ground. Now, because it's not even about you, it's a house of others. This could be somebody you're with, business or love, telling you, speaking, emailing, phone calling you about some developments. And you're having to receive this information where you're going back over some old ground with this person in some way. And Mercury won't stay in this Libra zone. By the way, legal contracts as well, having to be renegotiated because of glitches as he goes retrograde, but he won't stay here. He retrogrades around the 23rd of the month. It slides into Virgo. That's your 6th house, helping you learn, study, or research, or know, or figure out more about health protocols and work things that could serve you. This can also be news in your coworker space that's old but new. Like there was some information coming through the coworker space way back when, and now that Mercury's retrograding, it comes back to the table. Like, oh, did you know that that contract that we're going to give you that disappeared is back, and do you want it? Mercury's contracts. So exciting information in the workplace, let's say September 23rd to October 2nd, that is not all surprising because it connects to the past, but it's now somehow being brought to your attention again in order to go forward after October the 2nd. Okay, next, reminding you, I can't cover all things that happen in the month. That would be endless talking. The sun will trine Uranus, and that's going to be September 11th and 12th. And this is a very positive event because it's going to bring a purpose direction, a happy surprise, an exhilarating change. Those are the themes. Now, where the sun is traveling is in the house of work routines, the office coworker space, the health routines and health stuff, and trining that Mercury in your 2nd house of earnings. So this is definitely a financial bonus points connected to work, okay, and calling and earning. So look for a nice little pop on September 11th and 12th, a bit of a surprise, a pleasant one around your finances as it applies to things that you're doing in your routines around your work. And maybe like this could be a sudden positive raise in your workspace if you're employed. And if you're like me and you're self-employed as an Aries, this could be a really strong response as you are, enrolling people in your classes or something like that. So yay, money you, and that's positive. So a little further down, there's going to be some gnarly tension on about the 16th and 17th of September. That's going to be between Venus, the goddess of love and money, and Mars, the god of war and action and directions. And this is something that can happen in the sky, not that infrequently, maybe a couple times a year. But as Venus is squaring Mars, she's doing it from your work routines, your health, 6th house. Yeah, you got a lot going on there. Mercury will be retrograding there. Venus is there. Yeah, it's busy there. Sun is there. So what I'd say is you really could be looking at some kind of tension between a female that you're working with, a colleague, a coworker, a collaborator, or or something like that. It's going to be squaring that Mars in the third house of the online platforms. So if you are in some kind of tension with a female or some kind of financial tension regarding your work and your third house, online platforms, communication, siblings, and trips, just expect that to be a short-lived burst on the 16th and 17th of some not so easy time there. The other thing is it could lead to a trip that's connected to romance and a lot of hot sex flies with a colleague from your workplace. The sun is opposite Neptune on the very same time frame, and Neptune is in the sign of Pisces, where he's been since 2025, and the sun is in your house of work and work routines. So this is a place where you are making definitive, very purposeful, very driven, leaderful decisions and choices to oppose your addictions or to get rid of your illusions and delusions about yourself undoing. All right. So that's not so negative. I like that vibe for us, Aries. We could be coming to a definitive turning point regarding things to do with health habits and challenges that are bad for us and addictions and stuff like that. Later on, September 19th to September 20th, Venus will trine Uranus. Now, hey, the goddess of love and money in a trine to Uranus is love and money unexpectedness, sudden events, surprising events, sudden turns of love and money events in a positive way. She's doing this 19th, 20th September event from, of course, Virgo. We keep talking about her transit through the sign of Virgo. And it's back in that house of your work habits and your health routines already. And she's getting into that trine to the money house, your second house. So, well, that is some exciting developments financially regarding your earnings. You could get a raise, you get a promotion, you could be able to secure some kind of debt relief because the sixth house is your debt, and you can pay off a credit card, or some kind of energy of a female in the workplace offers you a perk or a bonus of some kind. So yeah, it's really, really lovely. And I probably will do a separate video on this one because I like it so much. So keep ready for that. This could really, really look like a really good financial turning point for most Aries, September 19th and 20th, mostly connected to the work story. There's going to be a Mercury in the heart of the sun. I'll do a separate video on that. This is a very important cazimi. Cazimi means Mercury joins with the sun within 16, 17 degrees, minutes, I mean. And this is going to happen at 0 degrees of Aries, Libra, which is called the world axis. So that's why I'll be doing a separate video. But it's Mercury giving you the ability to download some important insight regarding a significant other relationship, business partnership, clients, audience, or, your love partner, your main squeeze, so to speak. And this is also going to be squaring Cupid's arrow in Capricorn at 3 degrees of Capricorn. And it's going to be opposite Jupiter retrograde in Aries. This forms a gnarly T-square. It's very intense. So I would say that you're coming to terms with something to do with a passionate thing, a passionate ambition in your career and your purpose, your 10th house. There's also maybe involving something to do with business partnerships, legalities, contracts, audience, marketplace, and other. And Jupiter, the opportunity to expand and do things your way. Cupido is really taking a lot of this intensity from the cazimi on what day? Did I tell you the day? If I didn't, I apologize. On the 23rd of September, to actually focalize the intensity. Cupido, what are you passionate and turned on by in your work? You're coming to an aha and a realization about that on the 23rd of September. I can't believe I didn't write the date down in my notes. Yeah, like seriously. All right, finally, let's round it out. I'm going to end with this Venus and Mercury will be conjoined together in the sky in your, your sixth house of work and work routines, work and work habits, health and health protocols. Okay, and debt, elimination of debt. Mercury, Venus coming together September 26th, trining Pluto, power and wealth. This is more of the same story, guys. This is like, are you able to cancel out a major debt all of a sudden? I mean, that's what it feels like. Or are you able to accomplish something in the workspace, trine Pluto? Power, Pluto in your workspace, major promotion, major news about something you're doing in your work, leading to greater power and wealth in your livelihood. Look for this like yay popping up energy. And it's around 26, 27 degrees of Virgo and 26, 27 degrees of Capricorn. And because Mercury's in the mix and he is, the god of marketing, merchandise, mercantile, you may sell something. You may make something that you're going to sell. You may market something. I don't know. It's really, really cool. Anything else I want to say about that? He's still retrograding until October 2nd. So even though he co-joins with money goddess Venus in the house of work and debt stuff, and trines the god of power, Pluto, in your 10th house of career, you may see the most momentum from this energy when he goes direct after October 2nd. But the promise is there as early as September 26th. Thank you, Aries, for listening to all of that news that's been to print in your sky. And I will now be going on to the next sign. Thanks for being a part of my channel. Please like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications and sign up for my Sky Reader class. And oh yes, my sister Nancy is an amazing healer. I had complete immobility that I could barely walk. And for us Aries, with all that energy going on in our Virgo house of health, check out our back to school special on our website. I think it's 20 or 25% off any reading during the month of September. Not reading, healing. She's a Reiki pendulum healer. And I am literally now able to walk and swim again and do all kinds of exercise without pain in my body. And honestly, my 2 physios made it worse, way worse. And this started 2 months ago. And the healing she gave me, each one stepped me up a whole other notch of like, I'm healed. And now I'm totally fine. And it didn't happen slowly, by the way. It happened quickly. Like the healings were like instant results. Okay. Ciao, ciao, everyone. Healing with Nancy Lynn is her .com is her website, but I'll put the link in her description box below. Okay.